This video is part of a multi-part series, and I recommend that you watch the previous editions, which will be linked in the description below, before you watch this one. Luke Skywalker has faced his first true test, a one-on-one duel with his master, his father, Darth Vader. His failure to match the Dark Lord resulted in the loss of his hand and the disappointment of his father. Luke sat on the medical table as the medical droid prepared him a new hand. He tested out the mechanical appendage as Vader entered the room. Luke quickly got up from the medical bed and kneeled before him.
"Rise, my apprentice."
Luke stood before his father.
"You have failed me too many times, and it is as I feared."
Luke began to worry about what Vader could say next.
"If you do not improve, I'll have no further use for you."
Luke tried to reassure his father his ability to be his apprentice, and asked if there was something that he could do to prove that he had the strength to continue to serve him.
"If you wish to make up for your failure, there is something that you can do. The rebellion has all but been defeated, ever since the disappearance of Leia Organa. However, a few leaders still remain. Your mission is to bring an end to their most defiant leader, General Han Solo."
Solo had led the rebellion in Leia's absence, striking key Imperial locations. Vader informed Luke that Solo had been located on the planet of Bespin, and he was to travel there and end the general. Luke promised that the mission would be completed. He made way to the landing pad where a small fighter was prepped for launch. Meanwhile, on the planet of Dagobah, Leia furthered her Jedi training, and Kenobi and Yoda both reached the consensus that Leia was ready for the next step. Kenobi approached Leia. "Your training has gone well. I'm proud of what you have done, and it is time for your next step. In my home on Tatooine, there's a small compartment. There you'll find everything you need to construct your first lightsaber." Leia was almost astonished. She was deemed ready to wield the legendary weapon of the Jedi, and was prepared to make the journey, but something stopped her happiness. She told Kenobi that ever since he fought Vader on the planet, the world was placed under Imperial control. She worried that there was no way for her to enter the planet safely. "Leia, we have trained you enough for you to succeed here. Trust the Force, and you'll complete this leg of your journey." Leia gained reassurance in herself and promised that she would return to finish her training. She made way for her starfighter and launched for Tatooine. Two separate journeys were about to be undertaken by the Skywalker children, with neither knowing about the other. Luke made his way to Bespin, where he was met by the lead administrator of the Cloud City, Lando Calrissian. Lando approached Luke and confirmed with him that Vader had informed him of his arrival. He also told him of the trap that had been set for General Solo so that he could be captured, and in exchange for his assistance, the Empire would stay away from Cloud City. As Luke prepared to execute his mission, Leia began to embark upon her own. She made it to the planet of Tatooine and landed a good distance away from the Mos Eisley spaceport. She looked over to see the Empire had tightened its grip on the area, with stormtroopers and AT-STs patrolling its once free streets. She found herself wanting to help, but there was nothing she could do. At least not now. She made her way towards the Dune Sea where Kenobi's hut was located. She made it there to see the bodies of stormtroopers still on the ground from when Vader slaughtered them, and the robe of Kenobi still there as well. She entered the hut and searched for the hidden compartment Kenobi spoke of. She searched the entire hut and found the small box. Inside it was an assortment of things, from trinkets to old hologram recordings. She searched through the box and found the pieces to an old lightsaber and a kyber crystal. She took the items and set back to her A-Wing starfighter. She paused to see stormtroopers at her A-Wing. The troopers reported back to their commanding officer over communications.
"This is TK-336. We've located a rebel ship. A-Wing class. No one's around, but it looks like the fighter just landed."
Leia had to act quickly, but smart to avoid confrontation that she wasn't quite ready for. She remembered the teachings she had received, specifically the Jedi mind trick. She decided to utilize it against the troopers. She approached them and focused her mind on that of the troopers.
"It's Organa. Don't move."
Leia stood still and attempted the first use of the Jedi mind trick. "You will put down your weapons and forget you ever saw me." The troopers slowly lowered their weapons.
I will put down my weapon and forget I ever saw you.
Leia then continued. You will report to your officer that you never saw the A-Wing.
I will report to my officer that I never saw the A-Wing.
Leia continued to make the troops clear a path for her as she entered the A-Wing once more and took off for her return to Dagobah. On Bespin, Lando had arranged for Solo to meet him for dinner, but he would instead be alone with Luke. Skywalker made his way to the room where he would surprise Solo before he would make his move against him, as his father requested. Lando would meet with Solo and escort him to the room. He told him to take his seat while he took care of some quick affairs. Solo entered the room and the door closed behind him. It locked, and across the room stood Luke Skywalker. Solo looked at him. Who are you? Luke walked closer towards him and spoke. Han Solo, General of the Rebellion. You've reached the end of your journey. It is time for you to pay for your crimes against the Empire. Luke activated his lightsaber and Solo readied his DL-44 blaster. He fired multiple shots at Luke, but each one was deflected. Luke slowly approached Han and thrust his lightsaber through the chest of the Rebellion general. Luke left the room and Lando looked in to see the body of Solo on the ground. Lando was enraged to see his friend dead on the ground. Now wait a minute. You said that you were here to capture him, not kill him. That wasn't the deal. Luke calmly looked at Lando. That wasn't the deal, but it was always the purpose. Lando continued to release his anger over the altering of the deal, and all of a sudden, he started to choke. He fell to his knees as Luke had used Lando as his first test of the Force choke. You should hope that you do not end up like Solo, Calrissian. Luke exited with Lando left gathering his breath. This was part 7 of the What If Luke Joined the Imperial Academy series. I'm glad that those who have watched it have enjoyed it thus far. If you haven't seen the previous additions to the series, they'll be linked in the description below, and be sure to leave a like and share this video if you enjoyed it. Also, stay tuned because part 8 for this series will be uploaded soon. Until the next time,
May the force of others be with you.